This video was filmed in September 2023, the first part of my Alps adventure trip on the wonderful BMW R1250 GS. I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. That was maybe a little bit naughty. Oh, I've had so much fun on the twisties today, really have. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And before this gorgeous press bike heads back to BMW Motorrad UK, I figured I had to take it away. I'm going to take it down to the Alps, and I leave very early tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's journey is going to be about 8 or 9 hours in the saddle, roughly 450 miles, and then the next day is going to be a little bit shorter, probably 6 or 7 hours. On that second day, we'll be entering the Alps. It's been difficult because unlike a car where you can throw more than what you need in there, on the bike you're limited, and obviously the more you bring, the more weight you carry, the more weight you've got to throw around throughout the whole journey, especially when I get to the twisties up in the Alps. So I'm trying to pack light, and I better not say that too loud because Lou will probably start laughing inside. On the back there we have, I think they call it the BMW Black Collection bag. It straps onto the GS very easily, essentially 2 straps on the front that pull it forward, and there's a loop underneath that goes over the rear carrier, so very easy to get on and off. And over here, well, I've got my leathers out. RST very kindly sent me some incredible adventure gear, but temperatures tomorrow are going to be around 30. When I get down to the south of France and near the Alps, it's going to be low 30s. There might be some thunderstorms and rain, but I think the adventure gear is just going to be too hot. So I'm going to bring my leathers because they are by far and away the most ventilated motorbike clothes I've got, and I think I've talked about it before on the camera, you just feel so good and so free on the bike when you're wearing leathers, and that's going to be really important because I'm going to be spending a lot of time on the bike. On the helmet itself, I have my GoPro around the front, which will be my main camera angle. Still trying to figure out which is the best mic solution for this long journey. I don't want to be faffing too much because I just need to get on with it. And I've got a Cardo PackTalk Edge Bluetooth communication system, which is the best in the business. I've got my tinted or pro tint visor on. Basically, when it's dark, this goes more or less clear, and when it gets sunny, it goes darker. I think that's going to be the perfect visor for this trip. I've also got one of Chris's, Baron von Grumble's, torque stickers on my helmet, and I've got a couple on the bike. I've also got a thermal layer which is zipped out currently because I'm not going to need it tomorrow, but that's packed in there just in case when I get to the Alps it gets a bit cooler. And I've got an RST overalls that goes over the top of my whole suit essentially, which makes me pretty much waterproof and keeps the majority of the rain out. And last but not least, I kind of figured I needed a bag, and I do because this is almost full, but thankfully with light stuff. Lovely Oakley bag. I've got a hydration system there because once again, unlike a car, you can't just reach over and have a drink. But all my expensive stuff will go in here, laptops, camera gear, passport, wallet, etc. I am a little bit anxious, I'm a little bit nervous, but I think it wouldn't be right if I wasn't. Okay then guys, here we go, off on a big adventure. I was meant to leave at about 20 past 8 and I didn't leave until about 8:45, so a little bit behind, but nothing new there in my world. What is important is the weather is absolutely beautiful and is predicted to be lovely all day. All 480 miles I think I've got to do today, which is a long way in a car, let alone on a motorbike. Right, you join me about 2.5 hours later, and I'm just boarding the Euro tunnel. was a fairly painless journey here. My phone's saying 23 degrees, the dash was saying 28 a minute ago. Feels definitely more like 28 when you're stationary on the bike. I have covered exactly, or almost exactly 150 miles. We've averaged 53.2 miles to the gallon, which is just incredible for a motorbike. And the good thing is, when you get to the twisties, that shouldn't drop too much. I'm expecting around 35 to 40 in the Alps. So although it only has a 20-litre tank, we should realistically get a range of about 220, 230 miles on the motorway. Maybe a little bit less in France because we can pick the pace up a bit. Talking of fuel tanks, the adventure version of this bike comes with a 30-litre tank. So I can imagine with that you're going to be getting, well, over 300 miles on a motorway run, which is definitely more than enough on a bike. I'm a little bit sore already, but that's just because I'm so new to this. I've not spent nearly 3 hours non-stop on a bike before. I also had a bit of an accident in a go-kart about 10-11 days ago. At the time I thought I might have broken a rib, and yeah, I've not been sleeping that well because I'm in quite a lot of pain. So I'm hoping that I haven't broken a rib, and I mean a rib around the back of my rib cage. There's not really much you can do apparently, but obviously if the pain continues to get worse, then I will consult my doctor. Well, there we go, on the train. Let's relax. And here we are in France. It looks warm out there. Looks very, very warm. So I've swapped everything over to kilometers. Obviously that's how they measure it out here. It's just handier, especially for things like speed limits. And my Waze is all set up and also converted. So yeah, it's saying 3 hours and 55 minutes, 460k. I'd say that's about 300 miles. We will find somewhere to stop, fuel up, and grab a sandwich in about half an hour's time. Cheers. Woohoo! Right, you join me. Couldn't be much more than half an hour longer or later. I've been to France well over 100 times in my life driving. It's the first time on a bike, and each and every time I forget and underestimate how good their roads are. I mean, they are just outstanding, and how expensive their fuel is. Yikes. Right, oh, nice 3 Series Touring. We're all fueled up now and ready to rumble. Not only was the fuel massively overpriced, which you'd kind of expect at motorway services. You get that in the UK as well. Really, really annoys me. At least in the UK I'll try and plan around it, but when you're stuck on a toll route like this, it is difficult to come off, find a petrol station, so you're kind of stuck paying tolls and paying for overpriced fuel. The tolls I actually don't mind. I've got my toll tag in here and used it once so far, and it seemed to work. What I need to check though is when I get back that I'm being charged for a bike and I'm not being charged for a car. Anyway, I'm going to crack on. We have another 3 hours to go till I get to the hotel, so I will join you a bit later. You join me at 10 to 7. Look at this beautiful view. I peeled off the motorway or the toll route about 20 minutes ago, and I'm 5 minutes away from the hotel. Very much looking forward to getting to the hotel, having some food, maybe a cheeky glass of wine, and going to bed. I think I'm going to sleep pretty well tonight. I'm not sure how many people or how many bikers are crazy enough, especially new bikers like me. I've gone from doing, I don't know, 130 miles to London and back to today. Well, when I get to the hotel, I'm going to be a couple of kilometers shy of 700 kilometers in one day. Something else that I'm definitely looking forward to doing is cleaning my visor, because it is absolutely scattered in flies and roadkill, just like the bike's visor. I've averaged 44.1 up until now, so from when I left home until now. As you know, when I got to the tunnel, it was at 53. Ah, this is the life, isn't it? This is the life. Pretty sure it's in here. There we go. Not bad at all. Lovely little find in a beautiful, sleepy little village. Jacket and helmet are airing. Nice cold bottle of water. And there is the GS down there. So it was the right gate. That's the owner. He's just pulled up to let me in with his little dog. I'm going to have a shower and then head out to find some food. Well, that was lovely. What a really, really enjoyable evening. Lovely hotel or B&B owner. We were chewing the fat this morning. I was meant to leave at 9 AM and, well, it's just gone 10. But you know what? It was worth it because he was so interesting. Look at this for a beauty. I probably shouldn't be doing this, but I came in here last night. Look at that place. Absolutely stunning. Today we are heading over to Lake Annecy. That's the first stop, or Annecy, and I'm going to have lunch hopefully down on Lake Annecy, and then we're going to head up into some of the Alps to where we're staying tonight. Oh, it's nice and cool today. There's a bit of a cool breeze, although it's already 19-20 degrees, especially here in the shade. There's a bit of a cool breeze running on my chest, which is lovely. You join me about 4¼ hours later, and this is the beautiful Lake Annecy. What a spot. I wish that I wasn't in my leathers and I wish I was in my swimming shorts. I left the hotel, or the B&B, this morning, as you know. Had about an hour of wonderful countryside roads. It was so lovely waking up to that and going through all of that. And then I've had, 3 hours of toll routes. The last hour or so was quite picturesque as the mountains start to appear and the roads start to separate. And yeah, I definitely saw some incredible sights along the way. I then stopped about an hour ago just to recoup, have a stretch, have a drink, eat some fruit, just to give me a bit more energy. I am heading to a lunch stop, or a lunch spot that I've been to a few times before with the Petrolhead tours. Lunch with a view. Not bad, hey? Beautiful. Right then guys, you joined me after a fantastic lunch and I'm now heading up into the mountains. I've been on the road for about 20 minutes and I've got this amazing looking pass ahead of me. Not that you can see it now, but I've got so many flies over my visor. I cleaned it last night so it was fresh this morning, but it just doesn't last long enough. I think on a Euro tour you definitely need some form of tear off because it can get covered in bugs in a matter of minutes if you happen to ride through a swarm of them or a group of them, a bunch of them. It's just wonderful up here, isn't it? Absolutely wonderful. It's a bit cooler as well. The sun's just as intense, if not more, because we're going up in altitude, but the ambient temperature is a little bit cooler, which is important. And here we are, getting towards the top. Beautiful. What a place. What a place to ride. I mean, look at it. Wonderful. Right then guys, this is probably a good time to switch the cameras off and focus on getting to the hotel, because I still have a good hour and 40 minutes. You join me on the final climb up to my hotel on night 2. It's been an epic day, it really has. Once again, I've done loads of miles or kilometers. We're nearly at 550 Ks, which is just insane when I did 700 yesterday. But it's been great today, really has. It's been very hot, thankfully it's a lot cooler here in the shade and up at altitude. So I'm heading up the road that takes us to the top of Galibier. I'm staying in a hotel just before that. That was maybe a little bit naughty. In a place called Valeur or Valerie, something like that. I probably butchered yet another French name. Oh, I've had so much fun on the twisties today, really have. I've learnt a lot about bike control. It's just been brilliant. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I suppose if you got this far, then you probably have. Funny thing about this climb is we actually came up it last July. I say we, me, Lou, our friends in their 911. I was in my M3 Saloon X Drive and it was in July, so just over a year ago. But what we didn't check, as if by magic, was the tour dates. Obviously the Tour de France, biggest sporting event in the world. I think it must be one of them. And I love cycling and I love the tour, but when you don't plan for it, yeah, it took us as a bit of a surprise, and we actually came up here, I think it was the day before the tour. which basically meant that there was loads of really slow moving traffic, camper vans, etc., setting up for the night so they could be on the route the next day. I mean, it would be epic. I want to do that one day as well, but I didn't want to do it that day. I wanted to get a move on and enjoy this road, and we just couldn't. Oh, look at this view. Today is a little bit quicker, but I'm not taking any risks on the bike because I don't really know where its limits are, and I don't want to find them out on the road. But I'm feeling a lot more comfortable on it. I'm loving it. Really combines spirited car driving and downhill mountain biking, which for me is absolutely perfect. I love this. Watch this. There you go. Every single person that you wave to on a bike, predominantly adventure bikes, predominantly BMW GSs, because they are 2 to the penny out here. I reckon 90% of the adventure bikes you see are GSs, 1200s, 1250s like this one. Really hard to tell in France what the speed limit is sometimes, because you can enter towns and villages without realising. If you miss the sign, basically a town or a village sign should indicate, so like this one here, that should indicate that we need to go down to 50 k's an hour, so 30 miles an hour. But you don't always see them, at least I don't. It is hard to pick up. Do like that about the UK. 30 signs are pretty clear. It's amazing. Maybe not this particular place, because the tour has come through here for many, many years, so they've had lots of cycling and driving and motorbikes come through here for the economy. But many mountain ski villages, they used to close down during the summer because they would only make money in the winter. They would make enough money in the winter and then literally shut down in the summer months. But nowadays, thanks to mountain biking, enduro and downhill, yeah, these places, these beautiful ski villages, stay open in the summer months. Are you going to reverse into me? No. Why wouldn't you want to come to a place like this in the summer? It's just wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I'll tell you what I haven't seen on my adventures over the last 2 days. I can't believe I left the UK yesterday morning. Anyway, over the last 2 days, is any motorbike shops. Oh, look at that bar. That looks nice. Yeah, no motorbike shops. And I'm sure there are some, if I'd look. There's probably a couple in places like Annecy, but none en route. And the amount of motorbikes. So we've averaged 48 miles to the gallon today, and that's interesting because although I have spent at least half of it on the motorway, I've also spent a lot of it charging up and down hills. Yeah, this thing seems more efficient charging up and down hills than it does sitting at 85, 90 miles an hour. Wow, look at that mountain in the background. Oh, goodness, that is just beautiful. Again, I think I paid about 75 euros. Not bad at all. Look at that for a view. Lovely. Someone up there just having a beer on the balcony. I think that might be me in a minute. Ooh. Well, I think this is a good time to sign off. I hope you've enjoyed this first part of my adventures on the motorbike. Part 2 is going to be more about the passes. Make sure you keep an eye out for the second part to this video, especially if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, thanks for the support, and I'll leave you with that view. Look at that, for a picnic setup, someone coming down here in their Z4. Ah, people living, that's what it is, people living.